Sean of Sean McVeigh's Outdoor Adventures. I just want to say thank you very much. Whether you know it or not, you are a mentor to a lot of people, both on the hunting level as well as on the spiritual level, and I just want to say thank you. Um, so I am. I've been an archer for a long time. I was a hunter as a kid, but I was never a bow hunter. I was a rifle hunter, and after running across one of your videos about 6 months ago, 7 months ago, I started thinking about the fact that I don't own land, so I can't hunt on my own private land right now. It's something I'm hoping to change at some point, but right now I've got to go to public land, and I just don't feel safe in the woods during rifle season when I don't know who's out there, and so on and so forth. So I watched one of your videos and it was like, oh man, you know what, bow hunting on public land, that would be awesome. And so I started. I bought a bow. It was the Diamond SB1 because I ran across your video on how to set it up, and I was like, "Wow, that looks like an easy bow to set up. That's great." And so I bought that, and I started shooting just in my backyard and so on. But then, as I kept watching your videos, and I've watched a bunch of them now, clearly not all of them. You have a tremendous wealth of content, and it's amazing. Um, but like, I'll be honest, I was a fallen away Catholic, and as I kept watching your videos and watching you pray and watching you talk about your scriptures and including that as part of your videos, and I know that there's some people that turns off, but that really touched me, not only on a on a look, I can go do bow hunting, but also you've brought me back to my faith. So I just want to say thank you. I'm getting a little emotional right now, but also I want to say thank you, especially because I'm in my first week of actually bow hunting, and I'm sitting here where I'm wearing my Phantom tethered, because you were also the first person I ever saw with a tree saddle. And so I went, and I didn't just buy the Phantom because I saw you talk about it. I went and did a tremendous amount of research. I looked at the Recon, I looked at a whole bunch of other saddles, but ultimately I decided on the tethered. I use a different climbing method than you. I'll have to show you a video of that at some point in time. And I use a Lone Wolf hand climber as my foot platform. But here at the end of my first week of actual bow hunting, and so this is my fifth day, and I've seen deer every day, but I didn't feel comfortable with the shots, because I could feel my heart racing, and then they'd step behind a little bramble, or they'd be right at about 35 or 40 yards, and I was like, I don't know if I can make a clean kill. But this morning, I was, so if you see the big pine right there, just behind it, there, right about there, there's another big pine, not quite as big around as that one, but I was up in that one, and 3 deer came walking right underneath me, and right there is my very ever first kill with a bow. And it's a small little doe, but the first two kept behind some bushes and whatnot. Again, I didn't feel comfortable with the shot, but she stepped out 18 yards, just beautiful. She ran about 60 yards, and you can see the shot right there. Shot placement. I saw you talking about shot placement. I went and did a whole bunch more research and found good videos about where they take a model and dissect it and show you where. Anyways, I just want to say thank you. You've been a strong mentor to me, whether you know it or not. Over the last 6 months, you brought me back to my faith. You've got me into bow hunting, and I just want to say thank you. Thank you. My name is Josh Holmes. We've emailed and that kind of stuff, and so on and so forth. So, anyways, with that, this is a long video at this point in time, and I'm gonna send you a link to this video that it's just for you. But just want to let you know that you have a strong impact on people's lives. So, one more little quick video for you, Sean. I just want to say, I take off my green sweater and so on and so forth, and I realize, hey, how you doing? Right? And then also, I was just very proud of my little shot placement here on my doe. I brought it over here to clean it, and notice high back, right back of the rib cage here, and then it exited right here on the front. So that I'm sorry, right there on the front, other side. So it just, anyways, very excited about that. But again, thank you and God bless you.
All right, I was originally just going to close the video after let him say what he had to say and then finish it, but I received that this morning, and I also lead RCIA, which is Rite of Christian Initiation of Adults. It's for someone who wants to become Catholic. So I lead that for my church, and part of that is we look at the readings from the Sunday Gospel, the Sunday Liturgy. Today's Gospel really fits into this whole topic. So I'm just going to share with you today's gospel, and I want to make an encouragement. So today is November 15th, 2020. The gospel for today was from Matthew chapter 25. So chapter 25, starting at verse 14. And I would really like you to think about this and how it applies to your life. So here's the reading. It's the reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew. Glory to you, O Lord. It will be as when a man who was going on a journey called his servants and entrusted his possessions to them. To one he gave 5 talents, to another 2, to a third 1, to each according to his ability. And a talent was about 20 years worth of wages. So he's basically entrusting a lot of money to them according to their ability. Then he went away. Immediately, the one who received 5 talents went and traded with them and made another 5. Likewise, the one who received 2 made another 2. But the man who received 1 went off and dug a hole in the ground and buried his master's money. After a long time, the master of those servants came back and settled accounts with them. The one who had received 5 talents came forward bringing the additional 5. He said, Master, you gave me 5 talents. See, I have made 5 more. His master said to him, Well done, my good and faithful servant. Since you were faithful in small matters, I will give you great responsibilities. Come, share your master's joy. Then the one who had received 2 talents also came forward and said, Master, you gave me 2 talents. See, I have made 2 more. His master said to him, Well done, my good and faithful servant. Since you were faithful in small matters, I will give you great responsibilities. Come, share your master's joy. Then the one who had received the 1 talent came forward and said, Master, I knew you were a demanding person, harvesting where you did not plant and gathering where you did not scatter. So out of fear, I went off and buried your talent in the ground. Here it is back. His master said to him in reply, You wicked, lazy servant. So you knew that I harvest where I do not plant and gather where I do not scatter. Should you not have put my money in the bank so that I could have got it back with interest on my return? Now then, take the talent from him and give it to the one who with 10. For to everyone who has, more will be given, and he will grow rich. But from the one who has not, even what he has will be taken away. And throw this useless servant into the darkness outside, where there will be wailing and grinding of teeth. So I wanted to talk a little bit about this. It's an interesting story. I have a book called Becoming a World-Class Hunter, A Bow Hunter's Spiritual Journey. I actually mentioned in there that it was about 25 years ago. In an interesting way, I felt like God was calling me to make hunting videos, or these types of videos, to reach people who need to be reached with the message of God, with message of prayer, with message of ethical living, those types of things. Because, to be honest, I read a statistic over 25 years ago, around that time, that said, and this is back in the days when you could rent VHS movies, that we didn't have DVD players back then, or even digital streaming media. We didn't have any of that. It was you had VCR tapes. But the highest source of revenue in remote towns was the rental of pornographic videos during hunting season. And I knew at that time somebody needs to reach hunters with the message of God, because the only way to break an addiction to pornography is prayer and good choices. And so I didn't know how to make videos for God. I didn't know how to make videos with a message of any faith. This is 25 years ago. And I was like, God, I don't know what to do. I started to try to film my hunts and all that kind of stuff. And then 10 years ago, I learned about YouTube, and I had no other avenue or way of making videos that I could put out for the public to watch. So I started to put videos on YouTube, and I didn't even know how to share my faith in the context of them. So it's been a 10-year journey, and I'm finally now learning how to share my faith in my videos boldly. I'm a Catholic man, and it's clear. And I'm here to teach people about archery and hunting. But the reason why I teach people about archery and hunting is so that I could also hopefully teach them a little bit about God. That is the point of this whole thing. Now, getting back to this, I have looked for a way to take my hobby, which is archery, hunting, and do something for God in the context of that, which God had to open my eyes to that. I never thought, I actually gave up hunting and archery when I gave my life to Jesus, like 30 years ago or whatever it was. As a young adult, I made the choice to give my life to Jesus, to give my life to God, to live my life for God. Everyone has the opportunity to make that choice. And if we look at the parable, the person knew what was expected of him who buried the talent. So God expects us to live our life for him because he has given his life for us. It's a love relationship. It's not demanding. He's not like an overbearing overlord who's saying, you must do this. It's like, he's like, I love you. I want to give myself to you. And the response to love is love in return, not taking, but giving. So we give ourselves. And, I'm amazed, that God has blessed this whole effort. I'm about to hit 90,000 subscribers. Praise the Lord. I never would have thought that would have ever happened. But my point is, God has entrusted you with gifts and talents. And are you using them for his glory? Or if not, it really means you haven't opened yourself up to the love of God. Because when you open yourself up to the love of God and you experience that love, you just want to love in return. I do this because I want to love God back because of what he's done for me. And I want you to have what I have. I want you to experience the love I experience. And if you just open up and say, God, I need you. Help me. Come into my life. Help me live my life for you. God's going to do that. And then you'll have the ability to live your life for God. You'll have the desire to invest those talents. You'll look at your life and say, how can I do this for God? So those of you who are watching, there's probably ways. No, not probably. There are ways that you could live your life for God and reach people that I could never reach. But it's up to you to open yourself up. And the whole thing about the person who buried their talent in the ground, that person knew what was expected and chose to bury it in fear. And if you recognize any kind of fear, that's good, because then you know what you need to give to God. Say, Lord, I'm afraid of you, or I'm afraid of this, or I'm afraid of that. I need you to take this and heal me. That's where you need healing. Lord, I need you to take this fear and heal me. Fear is useless. What is needed is trust. So where there is fear now, I need you to heal that, Lord, so that I can place my trust in you. So I just want to encourage all of you. It's worth it. It is worth it to give yourself to God, who gives himself totally for you. He's got your back. He cares for you. He wants to change us. We all need to be changed every day of our life. So my encouragement, as I bring this video to a close is for you to take your Bible and take a look at Matthew chapter 25, starting at verse, what verse did I start with? 14. Start at verse 14 and go to 30. And then pray and think about, Lord, how have I lived my life for you? Or how can I live my life for you? Look at all the gifts and talents you have. And if you're not even aware of them, say, Lord, help me see my gifts and talents. And then invest those talents in the Lord and his kingdom. Look at what I've done. Well, look at what God has done through me because I said yes. You can say yes too. And I hope you do. I want to thank Josh Holmes for giving us the video that he gave us, for sharing that with me and with all of us. And that's just an example of what all of us can do and should do if we're living our life for God. And Josh is going to turn around. He's going to touch people's lives. He already has just by sharing what he shared with us today. There have been people who have been touched by that, including me. When I watched that this morning, I started to tear up. So thank you, Josh, for touching my heart with your testimony, with sharing your journey with us. Not just the hunting, but in coming back to your faith. Because that's really what it's all about. I'm Sean McVeigh, Sean's Outdoor Adventures. Until next time, take care and God bless.